What if I told you that 15% body fat can actually make you look better than 10%? Most guys chase 10% thinking they will look shredded, but when they get there, they just look smaller and feel like shit. Everyone assumes 15% is just average, but that's completely BS. Instead of constantly cutting, you can focus on training hard and actually building a physique that looks impressive year round. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down why 15% is the perfect balance between size, aesthetics, and exactly how to make it the perfect body fat percentage for you. But before I show you why 15% is actually better, we need to answer one question. Why is everyone obsessed with getting to 10% in the first place? Think back to when you first started to work out. You didn't care about body fat percentage. You just knew 3 types of bodies: fat, average, and lean. And back then, all you wanted was to be lean with some muscles. Most people can't even tell the difference between 10% and 15% in real life. So if no one actually notices, is it really worth starving yourself and sacrificing your gains to reach that number? While guys at 10% are struggling to keep their size, the guys at 15% have gotten insane benefits that I'm about to talk about in a minute. But why is 10% the goal for so many guys? It's because of aesthetic inflation. Social media has completely messed with your perception. We see shredded guys like Alex Eubank and David Lade every day, and even though we know they take steroids, we still compare ourselves to them. We start to think, I need to be leaner to look good. But in reality, that's not even true, and I hate to say this, but most guys can't handle being 10% body fat without sacrificing their mental health. I have been shredded, and let me tell you, it's miserable. You're hungry all the time. You crave sugar, you just want to eat normal food. But you can't because you're scared that you will gain weight. You start fighting a mental battle with yourself every day, and over time, this battle will only drain you. Now, for a few weeks in summer, sure, you can drop to 10% body fat. That's what I do. But for the rest of the year, be at 15, and after sticking to 15% for a while, I have realized something. Not only did I feel better, but I actually started to look better, and the benefits, they're insane. Let me show you. Look at this hoodie. Notice how it fits me. You can see the size, the structure, the way my upper body feels out. Now think about this. When people see me like this, they don't see my veins, they don't see my abs, but I still get compliments. Being shredded only makes you look big in a t-shirt or when you're shirtless, but in real life, when you're wearing a hoodie, jacket, or just a regular long sleeve, it's a different story. Looking bigger in clothes is just one part of it. What makes 15% even better? Your performance in the gym. See, my strength has gone up like crazy. On lat pull downs, I'm repping 187 pounds. On shoulder press, 77 pounds. On RDLs, 309 pounds. And this isn't random. This happens because at 15%, my body actually has the energy and recovery to keep progressing. See, at 15%, you're lean. Don't let your perception fool you. But you're not so lean where your metabolism starts to slow down and work against you. Because here's what happens when you get too lean. Your body sees it as a survival risk. It's not getting enough nutrients, so it slows down your metabolism to save energy. And when your metabolism slows down, your body starts to prioritize maintenance over muscle building. So when you drop to 10% body fat, you're making it way harder for yourself to build muscles. And if you're not training right or eating right, well, your body will start to use the muscle as fuel source. So at this point, we have established that 15% makes you look bigger, fills out your clothes better, and keep your strength high. But here's where a lot of guys get it wrong. Just because you're 15% does not automatically mean that you're aesthetic yet. If you don't train right and prioritize the right muscle groups, 15% can still look average. I see a lot of guys making this mistake. At 15%, your upper body will look solid. Your shoulders, chest, and back will have definition. But there is one muscle group that will not stand out unless you actually train it: your abs. This is where a lot of guys mess up. They assume that just because they're 15%, they don't need to train abs. But this is the missing piece to an aesthetic physique at 15%. The reason why you need to prioritize ab training is because at 15%, your whole physique will have definition. But if your abs aren't developed, your physique won't pop the way it should. Now I know that putting all of this together might be a bit confusing. Maybe you're not sure how to structure your training or how to eat right. That's why I offer a coaching program to give you a step-by-step plan that is tailored to you so you can take out the trial and error out of this. You can check my coaching program in the description. In my last video, I went more in depth about training the most important muscle groups for aesthetics, so I don't want to repeat the same thing here. But when it comes to 15%, your abs are literally the difference between looking good and looking elite. And the good news is you only need 2 exercises to train your abs. That's it. No overcomplicated 10-minute killer ab routines. Just one movement for your lower abs and one for your upper abs. And here's one of the biggest mistakes I see when it comes to training abs. A lot of guys keep their back stiff. If you want real ab development, you have to bend your spine so you get a good contraction and a good stretch. And now let me show you the only 2 exercises you need for your abs. For your lower abs, all you need is hanging leg raises, but if you can't do them with straight legs yet, no problem, start easy and build up. The first level, laying leg raises, when that becomes easy, go over to hanging leg raises with bent knees. After a while, when you become stronger, progress to straight leg hanging raises. And when you can do enough of them, go over to weighted decline leg raises. If you just focus on these and actually get stronger at them, your lower abs will develop. For your upper abs, all you need is cable ab crunches, and the only thing you need to focus on is progressing by increasing the weight. Treat your abs like any other muscle group and actually challenge them. Abs aren't built by doing a bunch of random exercises, they're built by getting stronger at the right ones. So if you want your abs to pop out at 15% body fat, stop overcomplicating, do these 2 exercises, bend your spine and focus on progressive overload, and you will grow. That's the final piece to looking aesthetic at 15%. And now here's the thing, to get to 15% body fat, it's actually easier than you think. Some guys eat way too little, they go on a too big of a calorie deficit, which makes them lose fat and muscle. And then on the other side, there are guys who eat way too much, they're not losing the fat they're supposed to lose. So you need balance, you need to eat in a way where you're lean, but you're also able to build muscles. There's 3 easy points that you can follow that will make you able to do that. We know that protein is the key to building muscle, but it's also the most filling macronutrient, which makes it way easier to stay at 15% without feeling hungry all the time. So eat your eggs, eat your meat, eat your chicken. If your diet is built around natural high protein meals, you will reach your protein intake. The second point is you don't need to count every single calorie, but you need awareness. For the first few weeks, count your calories, get a good understanding how much calories there are in different foods. After that, just be aware of what you eat and you will go down to 15% body fat. And the third point is you can have flexibility, but not every day. You don't need to eat like a bodybuilder 24/7. A few cheat meals here and there won't ruin your progress. But if you eat trash all the time, don't expect to be at 15% body fat. That is not possible. So find a good balance with cheat meals and be consistent with it. Now that you know that 15% is the sweet spot for aesthetics, the real question is now, how do you actually build muscle without bulking? Most guys think that you need to eat tons of food, but that's exactly why they look soft instead of lean and aesthetic. In my last video, I break down how to get an aesthetic physique without bulking, so if you want to do it the right way, click here.